Hey traders, hello, welcome to the new edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex every Thursday under cover of the trading analysis team. As you know, my name is Alex and I'm gonna include a little bit of macro overview here because we had a few requests during our Wednesday show. So we will include a little bit of dollar index, gold and silver. So there is a lot to cover at this edition. So let's dive in. I'm gonna start with, let me just cover first our overall outlook on Bitcoin. I'm just gonna enlarge this scene. Just confirm me that the sound is good. Can somebody write? We had a little bit of problem for sound last time, so can you confirm and type that sound is okay? Well, no confirmation. Okay. So let's continue and dive in into Bitcoin and let's look a little bit of current development. And we have to see what's going on the higher time frames. As you know, the current development we are tracking in this uptrend, which is going from 2009, 2008. So we have a wave 1 up, 2 down, and now we are tracking this orange wave 3, which should has a more legs to go on the upside. This is a weekly time frame. We are not going to change anything in this picture because the current trend is developing nicely. We are looking for a 5-wave development in this, as I said, orange wave 3, but we are in the last sequence or the blue wave 5th wave on the upside, and also on the lesser degree this blue wave 5 has to have a 5 legs in it. So from a few years back and low in this fourth wave, move up we are counting as a wave 1, down in 2, and now we are tracking a lesser degree green wave 3, and in this lesser degree we even go further into a even more lesser degree, and we are tracking this 5-wave development, which is actually happening now. And for now there is no change to kind of a mess up with this outlook because it's going nicely. The trend is up. This wave on the upside is relatively vertical and it complies with all of the guidelines regarding the third waves. So wave count invalidation is far away from the current price, so there is no need for us to change anything on this higher time frame outlook. And we are going to go on a smaller time frame and go little bit more deeper what is going on currently. Let me switch a little bit for current news. We are tracking this news just to kind of know what's going on in crypto space. There is lots of happening every day in a crypto space, lots of new projects, developments, and we are tracking this news to potentially see what are the dangers, what are the pluses and minuses. As we know, India made an initiative even to ban trading with crypto and transacting in crypto. We will see how that will go. Current news is that Visa is partnering with one of the providers for the cryptos to kind of ease banks to transfer cryptos and exchange them. So that's a kind of a new development there with Visa, and that's of course very positive for cryptos. We see that Ethereum transaction fees hit record highs as Ether decentralized finance coins soar. So also lots of stuff is going on in the decentralized finance. With the current interest rates in the fiat world at zero, people are moving money into the decentralized finance and stack them for a year to get some interest on their coins. Um, what else we can find here? I don't think there is. Dante Piero, one of the known hedge fund guys, launches a 200 million fund to invest in crypto companies. Also, that's more and more hedge fund guys are coming and seeking investments in this space. So these all are a kind of a positive developments for crypto space. I also want to go over the last two trades we had with our members. This is our trade desk in trading analysis. We were trading long XLM, so Stellar, against the dollar, and we traded long Bitcoin dollar. Both of these trades are closed, and I'm gonna go a little bit into them on the Bitcoin and Stellar, and we're gonna go also after some of the uh, let's say we can start with also with the Bitcoin dominance chart. We will go some other cryptos and of course macro space. Uh, let's go on the Bitcoin dominance chart. So we are tracking this without members. You all know what is Bitcoin dominance chart, Bitcoin market cap over all other alts. And we are tracking this structure, which is suggesting probably we have a little bit more downside. Down to 52, 51 area, we identified this as a 5-wave move, and we are tracking this as a possible flat corrective pullback to the downside. Flat corrections usually have a 3-3-5 pattern structure, and for now we see a 3-5, we see a 3 waves down in A, 3 waves up in B, and 5 waves down in C. Actually, this one is still developing, so I want to see a clear 5 waves down and a pullback, and then a continuation to kind of lock the possibility for this outlook. For now, this is going fine. We are developing impulsively on the downside, which means that for some time in the future, the alts might outperform Bitcoin, moving up or down. So this chart doesn't tell you on which side it's going to go. It's just saying of the outperformance. And looking at this chart, especially if we get this 3-wave pullback here, we will actually have a small edge, knowing in advance that possibly alts will continue to the upside and Bitcoin either will lag or the whole space will gonna go down and Bitcoin is going to fall faster than altcoins. So we will see how that situation will unfold. So let's see crypto charts. So let's go on a smaller time frame in Bitcoin. So this is the same chart, just on the smaller time frame. So as you can see, we are tracking this potential consolidation here, which is developing nicely. We pointed out last time possibly that this is some type of a triangle consolidation or some more complex pattern. From these lows before end of 2018, we identified the move up in a 5 waves. Then we had a pullback in 3 waves, and currently we are tracking, as I said, developments on this green wave 3. If we go even further lower, we are tracking these developments in this blue wave 3, and if you look the subdivisions, we are moving currently sideways. In Bitcoin, we didn't have a break on the upside and we didn't have a break on the downside, which kind of give us not yet a certainty, but kind of a visibility that this sideways pattern might continue if we stay in a range between these two triangle wave count invalidation levels. So drilling down to a 3-hour time frame, our entry on Bitcoin was around 31,712. We exited yesterday around 37,000, if I'm correct. Let me just see. An exact exit was at 37,160. So we booked profits on that one because it was a shorter term swing trade. That was the first, and I saw a possibility that this can turn into a more sideways consolidation, which we observe now, but we still need to see a confirmation. So this is my buffer zone because this B wave can go a little bit more above this beginning spot of the A wave. So I'm going to look what is going to happen here. For now, we have a little bit of hesitation in the current development, but this pattern still kind of holds, and we are going to look for a further legs to it, either a little bit more downside in a C wave, up in a D wave, and then in a E wave, and then finally this consolidation in the proposed green wave 4 with one more move on the upside will complete, and then we will go into a larger correction. So wherever you see this type of a sideways consolidation, that's a sign of a market hesitation and kind of a balance between the bulls and bears. And in the Elliott wave methodology, which we use at trading analysis, we usually depict that as a possible triangles. In the former technical or older technical analysis, it's known as a wedge. So this is a continuation pattern, which means it's the trend on the upside after this pattern finishes its kind of a hesitation will continue on the upside. So let's see how this will develop. For now, our primal hypothesis is working well, and we are going to continue to track this one and trade according to this wave structure. The first sign that this structure might head it to the downside on a smaller time frames will be some discernible 5-wave move to the, let's say, 3450 levels, and from there we might see also some type of a, let's say, a corrective pullback in a wave B, a further move down in a wave C, which will complete some around 32,000, and then we're going to get a wave D and E, and then continue on the upside. So this is a relatively commonly known consolidation that every technician which are involved for a few years in markets know. In the case we start to penetrate these wave count invalidation levels, we will have to throw our towel on this proposed consolidation, and we will have to find a way to count this impulsively on the upside. Anyhow, even if this is developing on the upside, we will have a time to re-enter this market, because this third wave on the upside has to continue in a 5-wave development, which means either from here, or even if it starts from here, it will have to form some legs on the downside. And having this Elliott wave tool with us, it will help us to recognize where might be our further entries to follow this market on the upside further. So our final take on the Bitcoin will be that we are in a consolidation. Proposed pattern is still a triangle, and that we are expecting one more move on the upside, as long as these two huge, relatively huge range between 28 and 41,000 holds. We're gonna continue to hold this view until further developments. Let's look a little bit a higher time frame and a possible targets for this wave 3. So we have 0.618 around 58 and 52,000. So I don't think we're gonna go above it, since this consolidation pattern is kind of an announcing a possible larger correction back to this 30,000. So if I'm gonna be on this move on the upside, I'm gonna look to kind of a scale, either raise my stops or a cut trade here. I don't have any problem to cut a trade, especially when I planned it in advance. We knew that our entry here was on a swing basis. We proposed a triangle and we exited yesterday. We missed a little bit move on the upside, but that's fine. Even if this is continuing on the upside, I executed my original plan, and I'm happy about it because I stick to the plan. Our motto is trade your plan, so we successfully done that and executed what was our beginning point. It is very unwise to change your plan during the trading, because it can result in significant losses if you adjust them. You can make small adjustments. You can also make some small adjustments with stops, very small one, because you need to calculate your risk in advance that you are going to put the trade on. So that is what we do every time. There is a three process we are following. First one is pattern recognition, second one is risk management, and third one is trade management. So we rigorously follow these three concepts in trading analysis. As regards of the Stellar, we were looking this structure developing after or post triangle trust. We knew that XRP went on the upside. I will go in the XRP a little bit later to show you what happened there. We are still looking for this continuation pattern on the upside. For now, we have a little bit of a kind of a sideways moves in Stellar, and I think this is going to finish a little bit lower, potentially around 0.2696. So what we did actually following this pattern, we entered at 0.25 with a full size tier 4. That's our mark for the lowest risk. Our stop loss was at 0.22 first, and then we moved our stop losses to 0.27 and finally exited at 31.40 in anticipation of a possible move lower to this 26.96. I could not define so well these developments here, so when in doubt, stay out. We took our profits without considering of further allowing this to continue on the downside, and we also structured our levels for the further possible trade, which will be here. Our stops will be very small for a risk for the possible continuation on the upside. So let's look a little bit Stellar. Ripple, sorry, I always confuse these two. Terry is always kind of slapping me. It is Stellar, it is Ripple, it's not Stellar. That's funny. So a very unusual developments in Stellar, since we know that Stellar is still under this litigation. We were looking for two options in Stellar. We were looking first on the lower continuation to the downside. We had these spikes on the upside. We constructed two wave counts, one bullish, one bearish, because you need to have a real confirmation either on both type of hypothesis you make. First one was bullish. Okay, we said let's see if the Stellar, maybe this is a wave 1, some type of a 5 waves up, 3 waves, or a complex correction down in 2, and then we're going to see a continuation on the upside. So this wave count will be valid up to this level where we have a wave count invalidation, but the current kind of a move to the downside looks impulsive. So I will be juggling between these two options. This was just a hype on the upside in 3 waves. We have reached in a measured move or equality between this ABC, or we surpassed it a little bit. Let me see. We surpassed it. We came close to 1618, which is a rarer one of the Fib ratios. Usually you have equality around this channel, and therefore we kind of recognize that it is a corrective channel. But from there, if you look on a smaller time frame, this move down has 5 waves in it, and it's very impulsive. So I expect a little bit of corrective pullback, and then possibly continuation to these levels that we are looking around 0.10, 0.9. We will see how long this possible move to the downside will be. In general, today cryptos are dropping, not much for the crypto space. BAT 3%, Ethereum 3.22. On Ethereum side, we are looking the same as in a Bitcoin, but the Ethereum now, since we saw this Bitcoin dominance chart is little bit advancing on the upside. We have now a divergence in the RSI. Just to modify these charts, as you can see clearly on daily, there is a divergence between these two, between the price and RSI down there. So I'm going to be a little bit careful with Ethereum. I'm looking for some type of ending diagonal chart here in this wave 3. This is for now, it looks a little bit of overlapping, and it's a little bit more advanced. It can also turn out in a flat, so this will be a 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down, and then we continue on the upside. So for now, situation on the Ether for me is not clear, so I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm not gonna put any trades in it because I cannot satisfy the first rule, which is a pattern recognition. For now, I put this possible ending diagonal as a kind of a guideline, but I really don't know. I cannot recognize with a certain probability that this is actual pattern. So wherever I'm in this situation, I just leave that alone and go and find something which I really recognize. And that's happened in this Polkadot. We were analyzing Polkadot with our members, and we are looking for a further developments on the upside. The uptrend is currently developing nicely. Wave 1 and 2, we are in some type of the orange wave 3, which possibly might finish in this zone here from 20 to 24. So we are going to look what is going to happen. Definitely this fourth wave pullback will be a relatively nice signal for the further development on the upside in this Polkadot. For now, trend is visibly moving on the upside. There is no overlaps between the corrections. We have a nice wave 1 and 2, so we can identify the first correction very clearly. So we are going to wait now to identify for a little bit a longer term trade on it, a second correction which will appear in the second wave. And when this correction, and if this correction starts to unfold, we will see which type of a correction will actually display, what market will do, and then we will try to identify a small risk entry for the possible move up in these two targets that we have for the fifth wave on the upside. So Polkadot looks really nice, nice development, nice wave structure, nice dynamics according to the methodology we follow. So we're gonna continue to track this one, looking for possible correction relatively soon in the next few weeks, and this correction will be welcomed for the further bullish development for the time being, of course. So let's look some other cryptos a little bit. We were looking, it was a big question. Everybody was wanting to see a Dogecoin. So let's see what happened with this Dogecoin. It went up relatively strong, and as you can see here, I'm still not gonna do anything in Dogecoin because for now it is only a 3-wave move. Corrective channel clearly is capping current advance. Sorry guys. There is a 5 waves up from the lows, that's fine. RSI is very high, almost at 96. We are close to equality of this move on the upside after a correction. So I don't want to kind of gamble around this. Are this gonna break further on the upside in a third wave? What I want to have, it's a clear vision what might happen here. So if I see a continuation on the upside around zone around 0.5, I can wait a smaller pullback in the lesser degree fourth wave and then continue to trade it on the upside. Or I can also wait this fourth wave pullback and then continue. So there is time, there is no rush. I see people are starting to rush and buy it because in anticipation it's going to further continue to move in such a pace. But for that you need a kind of a strong liquidity behind. And as we see, when we reach this channel on the upside, we still didn't break it to reach this kind of a measured move, equality, a measurement, and we might see even a reversal to the downside. I don't know that in this point, so I'm not gonna be confident on this one. I'm gonna wait and have a more kind of a probabilistic. That's a kind of a more probable, let's say, more probable outlook on it for the continuation on the upside. So I can be relaxed. I don't want to turn my back while I'm sleeping what's going on in the position. So wherever you have this type of unrested sleep, you are not positioned correctly with a viable risk. So let's move on a compound. Compound is developing very nicely on the upside. I have anchored this wave 2. I was hoping that this wave 2 will be a little bit more longer on the downside, but when you have a leading diagonals, which are the very bullish structure, you can kind of look for a smaller second wave. For now, I'm tracking this wave 3, orange wave 3. Let's see if this is going to develop. We surpassed the previous high. 5 waves up, 3 waves corrective pullback, and I'm gonna continue to track this one in a possible 5 waves in this third wave for these upside targets. This is still an early phase of this compound, so what we need to see is a higher degree, wave 1 and 2, up in 3, 4 and 5. So there will be time in the future if this one develops nicely and DeFi space starts to grow, we will see a larger corrections which will kind of give it a nice place for a possible longer term hold. So this one I observe still in a beginning phase of forming a larger degree wave 1. So it will be something like this. Let me just draw it for you. So this will be a larger degree, a kind of a wave structure which I will look. And I mean, I possibly can look to buy this pullback in a wave 4 and then continuation in a wave 5. After these first 5 waves are finished, we are going to expect a possible correction, and then there will be also a possible entry for the further continuation. So there is time. Always, market doesn't go anywhere, so let it breathe, let it show you, and when you have a probability of the low risk and high return entry, then you should consider possibly to have this one in your crypto portfolio or a short-term trade. So let's look Uniswap. I've got a few questions regarding Uniswap, and Uniswap is still in a nice impulsive structure on the upside, but for now I'm still not sure about this wave 3. I need to see this equality measurement passed on the upside impulsively to anchor this possible wave 3, wave 4 and wave 5. You never know which of these levels will actually be a possible target. So I usually put few of them just to have an orientation. So I'm still gonna look for this bullish development here. Equality is around 28.89. I want to see what the Uniswap will do there. We are going to see a reversal, or we are going to see a continuation. If we see a continuation, then the visibility will be actually much larger, because I will then look to anchor this wave 3 at some point, wave 4 and wave 5 for this larger degree wave 3. So the subdivisions are going to be relatively readable, and this wave 4, whatever it happens, it will be a probable entry for a possibility of catching this wave 5 on the upside. So that is our outlook for today. So let me see what you would like to see, so we can complete the crypto section and start with more macro outlook, which is on the other side of the current blockchain system, let me say. Okay, guys, so half an hour, we are doing good so far. I'm glad sound is great. Dogecoin, we already analyze it. So what is that? If you like to have me doing some analysis, please put the symbol and the name. So curve DAO token, I I don't, it is DAO, okay, because many tokens, it's DAO stack. Can you confirm that? I think Dogen is the one who asked that. So Dogen, can you please give me just a ticker so I can know what is it? And until you do, I'm gonna go and see other ones. Near, I never heard by Near, but let's see what. Okay, there is a nice pattern developing there. Still not so clear. Let's see a smaller time frame on, let's say, 4-hour chart. Okay, so so there is a wave 1 and 2, and now we are in some type of a wave 3. Wave 4 still didn't invalidate the possible wave count. Um, Wave count invalidation for a possible break or the leading diagonal is going to be here. But when you have this type of a relatively longer wave 1, wave 3 and wave 5 can be of a shorter nature. So clearly there is a 1, 2 up in 3, 4 and 5 here in wave 3. Then we have a consolidation which might be a triangle. So 3 waves up, down. So we have some type of a sideways move which might be a end of it around this let's say 2.05, and now we are seeing some continuation on the upside. So the 5-wave pattern is developing nicely for now, and we are going to look, we have to surpass this high here to see a further development for this possible wave 5, and then we're gonna track it, and then we're gonna see when the possible correction down to these levels will begin. So for now, since there is not much data on this one, I will structure it like this. We might be even in a bigger trend. This might be 1, 2, and then we have some type of a 1 complex 2 and a continuation, but we will see that. For now, since we operate with a very small data available, we have to look for the first, some type of a first of a 5-wave sequence on the upside. XRP is on the move. Whoa. Let's see what the XRP is doing. Well, that's not much of a movement. Guys, I'm not looking smaller time frames. I think it's a really waste of time. I'm gonna look 1 hour at least, 3 hours daily, weekly. On 1 hour chart, I mean, that's barely moving. So look how from 0.72 we went down to 0.35. So almost double. So these small pushes upside, a smaller time frame you look, your patterns can easily much more morph and give you a wrong picture. So try to look a little bit of a broader time frame to have an orientation. Egor is asking, am I afraid of the state when pretty everyone invests in Bitcoin, learn technical analysis and trades? I mean, firstly, it's not very easy to learn a viable technical analysis. That's the first thing. You need a couple of years, a few accounts burned. It's not just enough to have learned technical analysis, some methodology. If you're going to trade it, analysis is one part, trading is a completely different part. because when you are involved in trading, emotions kicks in, and that's a whole different game. So I don't think that people will I mean, technology is there. You can be educated relatively quickly than before. But of course, firstly, you need to have somebody who already known this methodology so he can give you some tricks and shortcuts. And secondly, you have to trade your analysis, which is a most difficult part of this kind of a whole package. So I don't know. We are for now. States are just looking to regulate it. If you were listening the previous Miss Lagarde, Christine Lagarde, the president of the ECB talk, she was saying that Bitcoin is not a cryptocurrency. They consider all the crypto space to be assets, not the currencies, because as you know, in a current fiat system, a currency is regulated by third party, which is a government and central banks. And in cryptos, we are functioning on a decentralized basis. So for now, they are looking at that as an assets, and what they want to regulate, especially she mentioned criminal activity. As you know, we are already under subject of kind of a giving some type of a KYC before we open accounts on the exchanges. I think that the state might kind of prompt that up and ask for a more regulation. That's a kind of a normal. If they find a way to regulate this market, there more people will actually will join in. I'm still not afraid they're gonna ban it. We are still not in 1 trillion spam of market cap in a Bitcoin, so that's relatively small if you look other markets. So I think for now they will try to regulate it, tax it, but they will not touch it in that sense. I saw only India with this kind of initiative to ban it completely. So we will see. I mean, it is really an unknown for everyone who is involved in a Bitcoin or a blockchain space. But I think overall the technology is there. It's functioning nicely. There is a lots of jobs and new developments there. So it's a future. It's a future kind of a network which might replace many things that we are functioning which we are functioning now. So I'm looking for a further development in the next 10, 15 years of the blockchain. Yeah, Joseph, we already went through Stellar. Yeah, Kyle, I only see a positive thing in Ripple is that the current chief of the under Biden administration, which works for the SEC in United States, is a kind of a very knowledgeable crypto guy. So they might pull off or ask guys in Ripple to kind of reformulate their current issuance, and we might see this litigation with some corrections withdrawn. I see only that to be positive for Ripple in that case. As long as this litigation is on, it's who knows how that will end. So okay, let's look some of the other ADA. Okay, so let's look ADA or Cardano. ADA, we are tracking some of the bullish developments in ADA, I think, for now. So we are kind of watching this. As I said, always we watch this type of an equality event between wave 1 and 3. We still don't know if this is a bullish development. Equality is around 0.63, so I'm still kind of waiting and looking this in this channel. Very nice technical picture for now. Equality usually terminates here and then we have a reversal, but this can just be a wave 2. So for me, this is still uh, a kind of a just looking chart. I'm not want to be involved in it. After I want to see what my methodology is suggesting to me. So I want to see more subdivisions in three waves to kind of structure this trade further on the bullish side. So for now, we are closing this equality, and I want to see what is going to happen in this measured move that we are going to see here around 0.6342. I don't want to see this move impulsively lower because we can easily turn around. But I see Cardano is very covered regarding the uh, crypto community, and possibly we might continue on the upside. I just want to see how these subdivisions will actually unfold. I'm just looking what did you wrote? Atom. Let's look Atom. Let's see that one. Oh, it's Cosmos. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we looked this. It is not very appealing wave structure. I'm gonna go a higher time frame so we can have an orientation what's going on this one. So from the lows in March 2020, we see a same development, just a little bit more advanced that we saw just a few minutes ago. So there is a five-wave move, some type in a wave one, down into some type of a impulsive move on the upside in a possible wave three, and then we have a consolidation without overlapping. So I'm still gonna hold this as a possible impulsive structure on the upside in this blue wave one. It doesn't look so vertical on the upside except this sequence, so maybe we can say that this might be a completion of the higher degree fifth wave. I don't know yet. I'm just, as I said, always drawing a hypothesis, and that is very important to understand. All of this, what I'm displaying here, is for me so that I can assess a probability and a structure a low risk point of entry. So on the end, if you know your methodology very well, it will be just a risk kind of a risk tool where you can structure your risk as you want it. So um, for me now, this is just a five-wave move, which might terminate soon, and then I'm going to look for a pullback. If something else occurs, there is no problem. I always have waves to kind of remorph my first hypothesis and then further on continue to see my possible entries. So it's nothing wrong to be wrong, guys. You're going to be wrong all the time. It's just how you can adjust it, modify it, and it's a game of recognizing and managing your risk. So that's all. SRV. Okay, let's see that one, and that will be a final one for today. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, same situation. I see a move down, and it was a pretty huge move down from 60 down to almost zero. Wow, what a move. That happened from August to 25th of October. I don't have any finished pattern here. The only thing I can see is possible wave 3 in development. So even if I look this chart for trading, I'm not going to do anything until I see a further completion of this third wave and a nice pullback in three waves without any wave count invalidation with these levels here. Okay, so I'm not going to do it is relatively bullish for now, I can say. We are possibly here developing a nice pattern here. Let me just change color of this because this is stayed in gray. It's not very visible, so let's put some yellow on it. Yeah, yellow looks good. Okay, so we are out of this equality channel, and then we are continuing impulsively on the upside, so we can kind of restructure this in a 1-2, some type of a wave 3, possibly finished, or it's gonna come 4 and 5. So it's developing nicely on the upside. Some of the targets before the pullback, we can do some fib ratios here and do some extensions on the upside. We are close to this 1618. 2 is the next level, and 2618 is the most farthest level. So judging by development, we might go to this 2, do a small pullback, and then continue on the upside. For now, it looks constructive on the upside, I would say. Okay, guys, so I think we covered a lot in this 45 minutes. Let's go to see a little bit of macro update. So we're gonna go and see a dollar index first. I also had many inquiries regarding the dollar index situation. So let's analyze this a little bit objectively using these tools which are keeping our emotions outside. From the March 2020, we are looking this 5-wave pattern to the downside, and for now we still didn't anchor this orange wave 5 here and announced possible completion of the move in the dollar lower. Okay, why? Because we have a very two specific signs that we wait that we are going to know that the possible 5-wave move is completed. Firstly, we have a wave count invalidation because we know that wave 4 cannot enter the territory except in ending diagonal into a wave 4 cannot go into wave territory, wave 2, or a low of the wave 1. So this is still not the case. So that's a first sign. Second one is that if you look a smaller time frame, current developments are still in a 3-wave move. We don't see a clear pattern development here, and we have one of the ratios which are still a little bit above from where we might see a reversal in this possible final move to the downside. Also, one more thing, if you look this 5th wave, wave 2 was relatively big if you look the scale of it, so we are always looking for a kind of a similar situation in a wave 4. So if we are going to put this wave, blue wave 4 here, it's a very small development. So usually I don't like to do that because wave 4 needs to be a little bit larger in time. Depends on the guideline of alternation, but alternation is just a guideline. Sometimes you can see even two same structures in the wave 4. If this one is a flat, you can easily see a flat here as well in a 4th wave. It's a little bit rarer. Usually you are going to see some triangles or ABCs. But what I'm saying, this is rule of alternation is just a guideline, it's not a rule. So I'm still going to continue to track this as A, triangle B, up in C. I have very well defined 9163 levels here, which we are approaching. There it will be a quality of the wave A and the wave C, and I'm very interested to see what the dollar index will do there. I'm still going to hold the view that we are going to have one more push on the downside until I see a break of these levels, and then I can look to anchor some round up in this wave A. I'm gonna let this wave B unfold, and then I'm gonna trade this last portion on the other currencies in this wave C. If this proves correct on the downside, we will see a 5-wave move down, pullback, and then a continuation to these 88 levels, from where I would expect a big push on the upside. So I'm still gonna hold the view. I have heard some of the remarks regarding my wave count that we are out of a channel. That's completely fine for the 4th wave. Usually you will see a 4th wave out of this channel Rarely you will see fourth waves. Even if you have a small triangle, you will have some breakup of this line, but that will can be just a small breakup. This is completely fine for me. Still, it can be turned out to the downside, especially if you look these small things that I'm always searching for. But for now, I'm gonna be staying with this view that we are going to have one leg lower. I'm just saying for now. If I see a continuation, I will be quick to change this form into a 5-wave move, possibly identify the end of this wave A, wait a corrective pullback, and then try to capture this wave C on the upside in the dollar or on the downside on other relating currencies. So let's look gold and silver. We were looking for a possible move up in a wave B. It's still possible. This is a corrective move. As you can see, everywhere there is a 3 waves. It's a complex correction. So we are still going to look for a lower levels and support around 160.50 in the current wave count. I'm I'm looking possibly into WXY. Maybe one more push on the upside. If the dollar starts to move lower, maybe gold will turn here. 1 to 7 is the ratio that I will look. So let me just restructure this in a 335 for a possible flat. So I will look for the A down in B. So I'm going to look for a specific level here between A and B, which is around 1783. So equality and one, we are exactly there, a little bit more downside. So I'm going to look at this zone and what is going to happen there. If we start to move impulsively, I will try to follow this C wave in this B wave, but then I expect a further continuation to the downside. One more structure, what is possible, is still a triangle, but it's kind of a too big for me to consider it. It's not out of the game yet, but it's my kind of a secondary solution. So I'm still gonna go with this larger complex structure developing. And let's look for a silver. And silver, it was an interesting situation. Silver spiked on the upside. Everybody was looking, yeah, silver is moving up. Let's buy it, you know. So I said, be careful until these two levels are crossed. I'm not going to be buyer. I'm going to show you a chart of a silver I post for some members which were actually asking me regarding the current move. Yeah, it's this one. So when I was looking at first, I saw that there is a 3-wave pullback. This pullback can be identified also in a B wave for a possible flat. So as long as you don't have equality and 1 to 7 breached on the upside, you have to be on guard. You cannot be blindly bullish because the market is going on the upside. Somebody is I don't know if it was the guys pumping this up or some other event caused it. I really don't know that. But for me, it was clear as long as we hold these levels. And what we did afterwards, we fell 10% on the downside, and now we are developing a 5-wave structure, which means possibly that we are going to continue downside. So clearly, maybe fortunate situation for someone who was long and catching and going out, but for the guys which probably fall for buying this in a prospect of moving on the upside, it was a relatively bad event for this reversal. And unfortunately, markets do a lot of this stuff, so you have to be careful. So silver, I would look for a further continuation to the downside in this 5-wave development. So relatively sideways structure. We crossed this high, which means that possibly this is A up in B, down in C. And I'm not going to do anything until I see some type of this possible lows around 20, 21, 22 on silver as well. So thank you guys for it's almost 1 hour. So thank you on the attention. Please hit a like button. Also, you can visit our trading analysis site. We have an extensive coverage of the cryptocurrencies, which we also trade with our members. We have repository, which currently don't work. I had an issue with the Dropbox and begging these guys to help me with this one. We will see how this one will pass. But anyhow, repository is a function which allows owners of the multi-wave, which is our preferred platform, to have the wave counts immediately as I have them on my platform, so they can track my wave counts and use them. We also have a nice community in Discord. We have a members webinars going through every cryptocurrency once a week. Also chart room, which is more informative. Some of the guys comes a new one and asks me, "Oh, you didn't change the chart room," but we gave so much other material live. Chart rooms are just a static thing. I mean, they're just an orientational stuff. You need to see it alive, how the market trades. So, if you want to join us or test us, you have a trial membership, which is relatively cheap. So, if you want to see what we do, come up and join, have a coffee. If you don't like it, move on. If you like it, stay with us. So it's always like that with this type of services. And of course, see you next week. I will be on the same place covering maybe the different stuff. Always I'm looking for interesting things to update. So let's finish with the current situation on a Bitcoin 36,850. We are moving lower. So it seems that we need to see this 5-wave development here on a Bitcoin to confirm a further consolidation. I'm gonna be looking for this B wave and C wave on the downside, possibly for a small position with our members. So for now we have only 3 waves. We cannot say that Bitcoin completed this. I will wait a further development to the downside. If I see this type of a wave structure, I'm going to be looking for this further continuation to the downside. So far so good. Our wave count is working, and we are going to continue to keep it. So until the next time, again, hit the like button, and from trading analysis team, which is an awesome team. Our fearless leader Todd Gordon had a birthday 2 days ago, and that was his 40th. So boss, keep going. And really a very nice team of very educated and knowledgeable individuals. So we have trading in stocks, cryptocurrencies, and forex, and I will thank them for the opportunity to have my channel and to be able to give you this type of outlook that we track. So see you next week. Stay tuned. More to come. Bye bye.